I always feel, one, I feel like I want to cry, and two, I feel very inspired to see how far you've come and what a great human being you are. And I love how you just take ownership. And I think that
Thank you, man.
obviously makes a massive difference. What was it like? And this is kind of more me asking personally, because my mother got divorced when I was 2, and then she remarried when I was 7. My
Mm,
biological dad was never really in my life until I kind of became successful, and then all of a sudden he started to come into my life looking
yeah.
for money,
It
looking
does.
for stuff. And that's when he showed up. And so what was it like when you met your dad, and what were the circumstances around it?
Oh man, so that's an interesting one. Yeah, you know what's funny is like when I got to the NFL, I have a Trucks family, which is that's the white side of the family, and I don't know what it is, but like they're all a little bit loopy, like genuinely loopy beans. It's the weirdest thing. Like, let's just leave it at that. And so whenever like football came, there's not many people with a last name Trucks. So, you see this guy on television. So believe me, I got a multitude of different messages and conversations and all this stuff out of the woodworks of aunts. I'm your cousin's aunt, sister, and your daddy's mommy's side. Can you give me $5,000? Like, bro, I don't even know who you are. And so there's that part. But then my dad. So funny thing is here's a story of my dad finding him. My biological mom and grandma moved north of me in Portland, Oregon area, like Mount St. Helens, and I was in Eugene. And I'm on TV playing college football. I don't know how, but they got my phone number. They call me out of the blue. They're like, hey, we live up north. It's mostly my grandma, not my mom. And I'm talking to my grandma, and I'm like, I don't want to talk to my mom. At this point in time, I now have a kid, and I understand what you did. And in my head, I'm like, how could you give us away? How could you like? It's weird. I just last night, oddly, I was talking to my wife, and I had my oldest son. I'm like, I don't know how in the world someone says I don't want to be with you or around you, get out of my life. Super odd. So at that time, I'm 21 years old. I now have my son. I'm emotionally ridden. I'm like, look, there's no way you're going to come around unless you tell me the truth about why you gave me away. Because here's the crazy part. She told me, and she sticks to it, that the state of California paid her boyfriend $10,000 to come beat her up so they could take us away. I'm like, woman, I am 21 years old and I'm in college right now. I am not an idiot. So here's what's going to happen. You tell me the truth or I never deal with you. And she wouldn't tell the truth. So disappeared. But my grandma kept talking to me. And what happened was my high school sweetheart, cutest couple in the yearbook, weird, but it worked out. And she goes, hey, ask your grandma for your dad's last name. And I go, no, nah, she's not going to, she doesn't even know. So she's like, just ask. So I asked, hey, grandma, what's my real dad's last name? Simple caveat. My mom is white, biological mom's white. My birth certificate says Daniel Patrick O'Byrne, which is an Irish name. So 2 white people don't make me. So I'm like, there's something a little bit off right now. So she goes, why can't your mom said never to tell you? I go, well, okay, I'm not going to ask. My wife, fiance goes, you better ask. I'm like, all right, grandma, please. What's the name? She goes, hold on. Goes in the back room, says your dad's last name is a Saibovo. I go, oh, interesting, right? I don't even know how she knew. So I look up on the internet because we had it back then. 3 of them live in the United States in Marietta, Georgia. So I call, hey, this guy picks up, hello, who's this? I go, my name's Anthony Trucks. Like, who's this? It's Anthony. Very thick Nigerian accent. I go, well, my name's Anthony also. I said, I grew up I was born in Martinez, California. Do you know a woman named Marie from Concord? From Martinez. He goes, I didn't know one from Martinez, but I did know one from Concord, neighboring cities. I say, oh, well, did you date her? He says, yeah, in 1983, she left me because she was pregnant with an Italian man's baby. And I go, I'm not Italian. And I go, just, like I'm a black man. I said, there's a possibility you're my dad. And we had a conversation. She had no idea I existed completely. I guess she left him at the beginning of the year. So it was cool. So over the years, I got to know him little by little. We didn't talk often. I have an older sister and a younger brother from that side of the family, which means I was born out of wedlock. Ooh, dirty dog he was. And that was that. Now, fast forward 9 years. And I don't know at the time when he calls me, but he's on the verge of the end of his life in cancer. And he says, hey, I got to let you know, I knew about you your entire life. I just didn't know how to come back. And I didn't know how to tell you when you called. So for 9 years, he let me think he didn't, that he had no idea I existed. It was all an accident. And then when you're hit with that, it's very interesting because I think in my life at this time when I'm finding out, like my wife, just so you guys know, my wife, like it was an affair situation. Like she left, and she had an affair, broke my world. And my real mom had given me away. Like the people had stole money from me in business. Now my dad's doing, like, it's just so much all at this window of time. And so the reality was weird is if he'd have reached out and said that a year before, I would have flew off the handle. But I think God does some interesting things in weird ways, because when he came to pass, literally, and came to share this, was in a window where I started understanding forgiveness more than I'd ever understood it. And it was probably the perfect time for him to share it. And so I think that any time before that, it wouldn't have been received well. And I feel like it would have been something I would have to carry the rest of my life, knowing he would have passed away with me angry at him.
Hey, Mike Wolf here. Today I'm in a place called Bansko, which is in Bulgaria, Eastern Europe. And this is my first time here. I've been traveling around Europe for a couple of months now. And this is, I think, my 7th country so far, and many more to come. But it's all possible because of the passive income I've created through real estate. So if you want to learn how to do this too, make sure you click the link below. We'll have a conversation to see if my Wolf Pack, which is my mentorship program, is right for you.